Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. Hope you have a wonderful day. In today's video, we're going to talk about my plan for 2025. As of the end of 2024, at the time that this is being recorded, I sort of have like an idea on what it looked like by the end of this year, but also making a plan what it's going to look like this time next year. So there's a lot of dot points, let's say, throughout my life when I started my journey when it comes to personal investing. And I kind of realized 2025 is going to be a little bit change. Number one of our accounts is going to get closed up because unfortunately, or maybe a split between two different products or so that we're going to be somewhat liquidating. Fortunately, I got to pay my bills. The renovation of this property is sort of a little bit taking a hit when it comes to our reserve, let's say, on our account reserve. And because of that, we still got the bills that need to be paid, and that's due as of May this year or so, or May 2025. So I have to start considering on where am I going to get that capital to pay the big bill, all because of this retaining wall. So this retaining wall is actually took us a lot more than what we expected, and it took longer as well. Yeah, cash flow is a little bit low now, and yeah. And on top of that, in 2025, we're looking at also to because we're going to close up on one of the account, we're actually going to open up a different account. Not much of a different account because it's more of splitting which asset class that we're going to be going to. So, after doing a couple of research, I like doing indexing. I like using index fund for the following reason. So, for that alone, after doing a couple of research or so, I found out that unfortunately, Vanguard has the best index fund that I can think of over different products out there. So, without further ado, we're going to go down to the computer or so and see if we can do this. Now, bear with me, I've never done this before. So, we're looking in Vanguard Index Fund, while we choose Vanguard and the most popular Vanguard Index Fund on Vanguard themselves. So, I do have VDHG, VAS, I believe it is, but we don't have VGS. So these are the three index funds that I'm looking at, I guess, adding towards our portfolio. And these are the three ones that we're looking at possibly be doing as of January next year. So I'm trying to see what it looked like as we go along and what is it going to look like by the end of 2025. So the reason why I chose these three is because the first one is the top Invest in Australian largest ETF within about the top 300 companies, which is VAS, VGS, go international with exposure around 1,500 companies, and then the VDHG access over 16,000 Australian and international share fixed interest security bonds through a single investment. So those three particular product alone, that's what is that, 17,000 ish of ETF or companies or products that I'll be holding, that I'm looking at doing as of January the 1st. So if I dive a little bit more, I dive a little bit deeper, let's say, if I were to look at the three different sectors. So let's go to the first one, which is VAS. VAS Australian Index, Vanguard Australian Share Index. That's a mouthful. The management fee is kind of low at 0.07%, and a minimum order buy it's roughly about $200, which I kind of like because I guess for those people out there who are unable to save up for a lot of money, $200 buy-in is a lot more easier entry. An overview of this, as mentioned, you can read over here. But the main part that I'll look at is exposure to the top 300 companies listed in ASX. ASX is Australian Stock Exchange. So that is the reason why I'm looking at the key objective. I'm sure you can read this or pause it also. The main top holding which is Commonwealth Bank, BHP, CSL, National Bank Australia, and Westpac Bank Corp. That's as of 30th of November 2024. So I figured if they're holding the top biggest banks in Australia, why don't I do the same? I'd rather earn interest from the bank instead of paying interest to the bank. So this is, and I'm looking at the performance or so. Let's say if we were started in November 2019, which is roughly about COVID time or so. Yes, it went down during COVID time. However, it didn't go back up till about, let's say, the end of 2020. However, as of, let's say, right now, which is November 2024-ish, based on this data, VAS already producing an extra $4,000 on top of your capital, which is roughly about 40% or so in the condition that you put $10,000 in the beginning. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to start with about $200. So the next one will be, now this is what I'm looking at is the fact that it actually have a distribution or so, large distribution at the 30th of September, and distribute roughly once every quarter, which is great. So that means we're going to get paid roughly, what's that, 4 quarters per year. So 4 times a year, there's going to be, I guess, distribution or dividends payout. So listed in Australian dollars, base currency in Australia, and exchange in ASX Limited. So on top of that, now in terms of the holding also, you can download all of this, but purely is the best apparently it holds roughly about 314 of Australian stock or so. So some of them, I'm sure all the brand that you already know or use at the current stage: Commonwealth Bank, BHP, CSL, National Bank Australia, Westpac, ANZ, Macquarie Group, Wesfarmers, Goodman Group, and Woodside Energy, which I don't even know what that was until I actually do a little bit of research. So yeah, that is based on VAS. The performance, we've already gone through that as a brief. My main part would be this as of if I were invested $10,000 5 years ago, and what it looked like in 5 years from now, with the projection of obviously going to go up. You can go read a little bit more at Vanguard, the website themselves. But its funny thing is management fee at 0.07. The only difference if you're doing to choose management fund manager to do it, it would be at 0.16, which is a little bit more higher. And the ticket code is a little bit different, which is VAN 0002AU. So for me, I would rather do the ETF side because it is at 0.07%. That's one. Next one, the next code, it would be VGS, Vanguard MSCI Index International Share. Mouthful. However, same thing, if we're looking at the ETF version, is 0.18, which is a little bit more higher compared to the other one that we just looked at. If you're going on managed fund, it's a little bit, it's about the same actually. I did not know that. But the ticket code is VAN 0003AU. Now, I chose this particular ETF is because, number one, it goes go global and invest in and around 1,500 companies from developed countries, excluding Australia. The ETF companies from around 23 different countries, including US, Japan, UK, Canada, France, and Switzerland. So it covers a lot under VGS. So the main objective for this is, the top holding on this particular stock or ETF, it's Apple, Nvidia, Microsoft, Amazon, Meta platform. That's as of November this year. Now, I can see that's probably going to go a lot more higher because usually tech companies that tend to go a lot more higher. Looking at the performance in here as well. So if you invested at $10,000 5 years ago, as of right now, or as of November 24, it already hit $18,000. So that's nearly doubled in terms of your money. So this is the reason why I choose I'm looking to do this as of January 1st. well, the first week of January when the market's open or so. The other one would be the dividends. So distribution of this is roughly a quarterly as well, as of the 30th September 2024. So, and what was it? The other part is, yes, same thing, whereas a minimum buy-in is roughly about $200, which is great. In terms of holding, they have a lot in here. So I'm not going to bore you because there is about 1,400 companies that this particular ETF is actually holding. Now, that's a lot. And I'm sure you can download it right here to download the whole entire holding that they have. So that's number 2. Number 3, which is the third ETF, which is VDHG, Vanguard Diversified High Growth Index ETF. This particular ETF is at 0.27. It's probably the highest out of the whole entire 3. I believe it is, but if you're doing a management fund version, it's VIN 0111AU, 0.29, a lot more higher. So I'm going to choose the ETF version, 0.27. Again, minimum order buying is about $200. So what I like about that is it's affordable at $200 per fortnight or so that I'm looking at doing to invest in those 3. So one after another, just going through the cycle. If it's not one, second, third, 1, 2, 3, just going that round in a circle. So why VDHG? It's because it's already made, the main part is this: strong track record, long-term competitive performance with a high diversified global portfolio, over 16,000 securities. 16,000 securities. That's quite a lot. In terms of the asset closure, I guess percentage-wise, as you can see in here, Australian share roughly about 36%, international share 26%, and the rest of them, as you can see in here. Now, this one, if you invested at $10,000 5 years ago, as of right now, as of November 2024, it's roughly about 15,000 as of right now. So to me, anything above that, it's more like covering the whole entire global wise. So I kind of like having all of those different product and services or so, and I'm just going to keep on buying those 3 over for the next 12 months. Sorry. Now this one here, does it have? Yeah, it does have. So a distribution every quarter, which is what I like. Again, every quarter we're going to receive dividends. With that, I'm going to reinvest it with some of those product again. So it's going to be boring for the next 12 months for me, and just keep on buying these 3 codes. Now, going back to the holding side, you can download all of this, and technically there's only 15 holding, but each one of those codes is actually holding more. There is a lot more inside it. So it will take me some time to download every single code and what is it physically that you're holding. But instead of that, I'm sure you guys can work it out yourself if you go to the website and download them, and then copy the whole entire information and see if you can download the Excel spreadsheet of every single product. So those are the 3 main products that I'll be starting as of January, first week or second week when the market is open. But yeah, stay tuned and see how it goes as of January. So it'll be interesting what it's going to look like. Anyway, that's just my 2 cents based on our plan as of January 2024. If you like, 2025. If you like this type of content, guys, don't forget to subscribe, comment, and I will see you on the next video. Peace.